Excuse me, you just cut it. Watch out.
Oh no,
You just cut it.
it's boys first.
No, it's not. This is
boys first,
No,
actually.
you gotta get to the back with your little girl backpack. I'm sorry, your little sister had to let you borrow it, but you gotta get to the back.
I'm sorry, nope.
Move along.
I'm sorry,
Okay,
you
watch
weren't
out.
listening.
Excuse
You weren't
me.
listening. You weren't
Excuse
listening.
me.
You should have been listening.
Why?
There's actually no headphones allowed. No headphones allowed in the.
Okay. Why are you
Stop,
touching my
guys,
headphone,
stop.
huh?
Okay, listen.
Miss,
Yeah.
she
What is
just,
going
she,
on?
just, she just threw food at
He
me.
just touched
She
me.
just threw food at me.
Excuse me, but
One
you're
at a
gonna
time,
die.
please. One at a time.
No, it's not gonna happen.
Listen, look at me.
I'm
Look
sorry.
at me, girl.
It's not gonna happen.
I don't know your name. Look at me.
It's
yes.
not gonna happen. He should.
What's not gonna happen?
He's in my
Miss.
personal bubble.
Okay, I need to
He
listen
is
to both of you.
wrong. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Listen. So we have a workshop here at night. So you guys can go to the anger management.
I don't got
workshop.
anger problems. He's the one that's wrong.
Okay, sorry,
he
honey,
touched me.
Sorry, honey. I can see it. Both of you are
I
mad
was
at each
minding
other.
my business.
Boys
That-
first.
How does he expect to get a reaction? It's his fault. He should know better.
That will help
His
you,
mom
okay?
didn't raise him right. That's
Uh-oh.
not my
That's
fault.
my food.
We don't talk to others.
This
you
is
know,
my
you don't know
food.
it. You
I
know,
was
others
minding
like
my
it.
business.
Okay, so let's go to the workshop. That will help you. We have wonderful counselor, and she
If you want me to
always
show up
good-
somewhere, call my
Yeah.
mom.
Please,
Call my mom
okay?
because I'm
Thank
not
you.
there. I'm
Okay.
not gonna be
3
there.
hours later.
Hi, welcome. Hi.
Excuse me. You're too close in my bubble. Move. This is why we
Excuse me,
started.
I don't want to
this.
sit next
This
to her.
is why we
I
started
do
this
not-
because you're too
She's
close
touching
to
me. She
No,
is
you're
touching.
being to me.
She is
Hi.
touching me.
Hi.
Whatever.
I do not want to
Hello.
sit.
Hi.
How much longer do I have to deal with this? Because in reality, I shouldn't be here. He's the one that has problems. He
Alrighty.
feels so entitled.
So today we are having an anger management workshop, and I'm glad you both are here because it seems like you have some frustrations you want to let out, and hopefully this course will help you with that. So before we begin, I want to introduce myself. I am the school counselor here at the high school, and I just want to know a little bit more about you guys. So if each of you can stand up, introduce your name, what grade you are, and why you are here today. Go ahead.
Well, my name is Destiny. I am a junior, and I'm only here because of this person.
Thank you, Destiny.
I'm Chris. I'm in 12th grade and I have anger problems.
This ain't no AA meeting.
Thank you, Chris. So, before we get started, I want to get your input on what you think anger is. Do any of you know what it means?
Yeah,
What do you think it means?
it's a reaction.
Okay, perfect. A reaction to what do you think?
Emotions.
Perfect. So, anger is actually that feeling of frustration, hurt, or when you're annoyed or disappointed.
Annoyed.
And anger is a normal human emotion that serves a protective function. So anger can help you in a negative way or it can help you in a positive way. So what I mean by that is if it's positive, that means you're not holding in your anger on the inside, but it can be negative if you react to it and then you do something that you regret.
Anger is good.
It's good to let it out, but in a nice, calm way. So knowing how to recognize and express feelings of anger in appropriate ways can help you handle emergencies, solve problems, and hold on to meaningful relationships. So before we talk about different ways to help with anger management, we are going to tell you a little bit about the data. So the Mental Health Foundation led an anger management report with the following statistics. So 64% of the people in this world say that the world is an angry place. 32% of people say they have a close friend or family member who have trouble controlling their anger. 1 in 10 people say that they have trouble controlling their own anger. 1 in 4 people say they worry about how angry they get sometimes. 1 in 5 people say they have ended a relationship or friendship with someone because of how they behaved when they were angry. And then these two are in bold because 50% of people wouldn't know where to seek help if they needed help. And 84% agree that people should be encouraged to seek help if they have problems with anger. So that's why I'm glad that you both are here today, because you are seeking the help that you need. So the next slide talks about some behavioral characteristics of anger. So as you mentioned, you both are frustrated. You guys have probably an aggression towards each other. And maybe you're lacking the capacity to regulate your emotional state. Also, it can help, anger is a cause of a lack of social competence.
Get away from me.
So now that we talked about what anger is and the statistics, we will talk about different interventions and strategies to help you with the anger. So these two are two different interventions. And the first one is a cognitive behavior therapy, which deals with more of your developmental needs and biological differences. So we all know that we all develop in different ways, and our developmental needs are reached at different points in our lives. So this therapy really deals with that. The SCARE therapy, which is the Student Created Aggression Replacement Education, is designed to help young people manage your own feelings, and it teaches you to control your impulse emotions, encourages you to make better decisions in responding to different scenarios, and then provides you with different alternatives to violent behaviors. These two interventions are anger and coping power. So the anger is designed to reduce aggression and disruptive behaviors, and coping power targets students who demonstrate aggressive or disruptive behaviors. So it is designed to help with your developmental trajectories towards antisocial outcomes. So the importance of interventions is important because it can help you prevent future problematic behaviors. So these are my recommendations as a counselor and what you should do and what your teachers can do to help. So what can I do for you? I can promote wellness and lead prevention efforts to create a safe and supportive school environment. And I can consult with families, teachers, administration if the problem progresses, and discuss the concerns and ways to improve the behavior. And I could also design and implement positive behavior and intervention support, just like today's workshop. What can a teacher do? It basically is the teacher needs to facilitate their own classroom in a positive way. And the way they do that is by doing their job. They can embody positive school climate. And they could also implement the how I feel for emotional regulation. And I will show you that in the next slide on what teachers can post in their classroom, so that if you ever feel that you're in a certain zone, these are the ways that you could figure out how to get to the happy, the calm, the you're okay zone. So for example, you could drink water. If you need a break, you could count. You can take deep breaths. You can draw. You could write your emotions. You could talk it out. Whatever it is that you need to get yourself into the happy place. And last but not least, what can you do? You can think before you speak. So obviously take a couple minutes to yourselves before saying something you'll regret. Once you're calm, express your anger. Get some exercise that could help reduce stress, take your mind off of what's frustrating you. Take a short break. You could also identify possible solutions. So not necessarily focusing on what made you mad, but focus on how you could fix and prevent the problem in the future. You could stick with I statements. I noticed that when you guys both walked in, you were blaming each other, but instead you can take responsibility for your actions.
So I'm supposed to be weak and just say, okay, cut in front of me and be calm about it?
We can have a nice conversation with one another and talk about how you feel.
But if he doesn't want to be nice, that's why his action came to cut me in the first place.
So that's something that we should all talk about in a nice way, take a deep breath, and then come back to the situation.
I like talking. I'm sorry, Destiny, for cutting.
I don't know if I can forgive you right now.
That leads me right
I need to
into
calm down.
don't hold a grudge, because forgiveness is a powerful tool. We can also use humor to release the tension, so we can lighten up the mood in that way, but try to avoid sarcasm as it can hurt someone else's feelings. We can practice relaxation skills like taking deep breaths, writing down how you feel, or listening to calming music. Or what you can do is seek help, just like you did today. So seeking help for anger issues, if your anger seems out of control and can hurt others, I'm glad you two are practicing your relaxation skills. That really shows me that you guys are learning something. So are there any questions, comments, or concerns for me? No? Okay. Well, I definitely want to thank you both for coming, and I hope you enjoyed this workshop.
Thank you.
Thank you, teacher. I learned that you can handle your anger by taking deep breaths and just finding a calm place, relaxing yourself.
So I learned in my anger management class not to hold grudges. She taught me how to take some steps into calming down with my behavior and to relax.